Hey, everybody. Thanks very much for joining us today. Really appreciate you being here to learn about our smart extender, KDX-PS22U. And it's our first time we've ever called anything a smart product. There's just so much capabilities, so much connectivity, so many options with this product that we're going to just jump right in and hopefully you'll see why we call it a smart extender. Now, first of all, this is sold as a kit. It includes a transmitter and receiver. And when you buy this kit, because these products are sold independently otherwise to integrate with other key digital products, when you buy this kit, you're going to save some money. So that's actually important. And there you go. That's enough said about why this is smart, right? Saving some money. The transmitter has 2 HDMI inputs in it. So it's actually like a switcher / transmitter. The switching between HDMI 1 and HDMI 2, you could enable auto switching on the transmitter. You can switch it via IP command. So yes, this extender set is IP controllable. How's that for smart? And of course, you got your push button switching as well that's possible. Because it is IP controllable, of course, that means it's app ready. With the free Key Digital app, you could select your source 1, source 2. You could even send CEC Control over HDMI commands to control your connected display or projector. You only need to power one of these 2 ends. You see both of them have the connections. They both include power supplies, but you only need to connect to one. And that makes the installation much easier, whatever's more convenient for you. And once again, we think that's pretty smart. You could go 100 meters at 4K, full 18 gigabits per second signal, or we have on this product a very special capability called long range mode. This is where we utilize HD-Base-T for longer distance than expected. That's all due to some pretty smart engineering. We could get up to 150 meters, close to 500 feet at 1080p. You have ARC capability, so the audio can return from your receive unit, and we'll show you more details about that. You have USB connectivity, so this could be used for multimedia. You plug in a thumb drive, sure. You could send that back to whatever's at the head end, as we'll show, or you could use it for your webcams and your USB microphones in conference rooms, as we'll show. And of course, it's up to date with HDCP up to 2.2, supports HDR10. So again, full of connectivity, full of capabilities. Let's start off by looking at some of the applications. For example, audio return channel. Here's a typical application with audio return. Yes, you've got a variety of HDMI sources connected into a surround receiver. The surround receiver then feeds HDMI output in the blue arrow into the transmitter. But what about all of those sources, those contents, like if they're streaming Netflix in the television itself? How do we get that back to the surround receiver so that we can listen to that in something other than just the speakers of the display? Well, at the receiver, there's actually, you could choose how do you want to return the audio. We have that toggle switch where you could choose HDMI, so the ARC supported display, that HDMI connected there. We're sending audio backward through the HDMI, but you know, we listen to you integrators and we're always trying to make your job easier. You AV integrators have often told us ARC is just not reliable. Getting one brand to play well with the other, for example, can sometimes be difficult. And so we also have the external digital and analog inputs. So you can take that Toslink, that optical output of your display, you could feed that into your receiver and move that slide switch so that the ARC is selecting the external audio inputs, and then the optical left-right selects optical, of course. And now that audio is going to return from the streaming app side. Now at the transmitter, it's actually output on either the analog or digital, or analog and digital, not either, it's both. And so there's a command. What do you want output on that embed? So again, it's making the ARC even easier to feed into your audio system. Maybe it's a distributed audio system, maybe it's something else. You could associate that audio at your surround receiver so that it, whenever it selects some, whenever it knows that you're viewing content from the display itself, it selects the PCM or the analog as the audio feed for that source. And you could choose, do you want those audio outputs to be a de-embed of the input, the selected input? Do you want it to be returned audio from the HD-based out, like in the diagram we just showed? But there's also an HDMI pass-through on the transmitter. So you could even take the ARC, the returned audio there, and output it on the digital and analog output ports. Now, there's no conversion. So if you want to do analog, everything's got to stay strictly 2-channel. And that's not a problem with all of our EDIT adjustments. Now let's return to that same application. And here we have highlighted LAN connection. Okay, so the LAN connection here is what we see in gray, the iPad, for example, and out of the router into the transmitter. And let's say you only had a single cat wire to go to the display. Well, the transmitter receiver acts like a switch. So it's essentially passing through the network signal, not only getting our unit online so that you can control it from the app, for example, but also passing that through so that you could connect into your display and provide network connectivity that way, therefore enabling the streaming if you wanted to have a hardwire option instead of Wi-Fi. So here you are, you just kind of, because there's a lot of things going on there, we just kind of highlighted those arrows so that you can follow that network connectivity, how it is passed through. And all the while, it's still getting your smart extender set on the network so that it can be controlled as well. And this could go both ways, mind you. It doesn't matter if you were to connect your network feed from your router or switch into the transmitter or the receiver, it is completely bidirectional. Now, how about the CEC control we mentioned a few times? Well, this is truly just a command that is sent to the transmitter, and the transmitter will execute TV on and off, volume up and down, mute or unmute, all over CEC. Now, if you're not familiar with CEC, Consumer Electronic Control, and it means control over HDMI. You don't have to wire IR. You don't have to wire RS-232. A lot of you integrators may know it by other names because each brand has seemingly made a, marketed their own name for that. Like, for example, I believe Samsung was at one point in time, maybe still is, calling it AnyNet, for example. Or Toshiba was calling it Regzalink. Now let's look at the other feature, 2 HDMI inputs, right? So we talked to a gentleman recently. He was using this set. He had 2 gaming consoles, and he wanted them out of sight, out of mind, nice, clean look, display on the wall, right? And sound bar as well, which looks like it's disappeared from my slide here beneath the display. So let's just say where the word says sound bar, there should be a sound bar. So here you are, 2 gaming consoles, and the gentleman is able to use his phone, iPhone or iOS, and choose console 1 or console 2. They're located out of sight, out of mind. We extend it this way. It's an all-in-one system. And of course, very important with gaming applications, there is no latency whatsoever. Another really great feature is the HDMI pass-through and the transmit de-embedded audio. So let's look at the pass-through. So here's more of an application where you might have a lecture hall, right? Or something, a training room where someone is presenting and they don't want to look over their shoulder to see what is on the screen all the time. And instead you could have that local secondary display just sitting right at the podium or at the table so that the presenter can look directly into the monitor without having to look overhead, and it is mirrored content. Whatever is coming in, whatever is the selected source is also coming out on that HDMI pass-through. And we not only have the audio ports on the receiver, we also have it on the transmitter. So from time to time, people will use something like a powered speaker to feed in. Keep in mind, there's no volume controls or preamp features on the audio de-embed ports. It's just a pass-through. That's why you would use a powered speaker, for example, or an amplifier. That brings us to USB 2.0. You know, we have a great set of presentation solutions here at Key Digital, and this product fits basically right into that category, if you will, these smart extenders, where transmitter receiver both have USB-A connections and USB-B connections. The B connection, the one that looks like the D shape or the doghouse, is where you can connect your USB computer, and the USB-A ports are where you can connect your devices. So for example, here at the receiver, we have the camera, a webcam, and a microphone, a soundbar, speaker mic combo unit, and they both connect into the receiver on those two ports. And remember to select the device selection there. Meanwhile, they go backwards to the transmitter, and anyone comes in with their laptop, they connect the USB there now, and they have chosen there that it's a host. And usually those things are set it and forget it. So that this is a perfect solution for those applications like bring your own device. Somebody's the presenter, they want to share their content on the screen. They want to open up Zoom, Microsoft Teams, etc., and they want to connect the USB so that the webcam and the soundbar are now linked to their sound card in their computer. And this is exactly how you do it with the KDX PS22U. So for more information on this product, you know, just reach on out to us at Key Digital. Our sales team is sales@keydigital.com, and we really appreciate you joining us today for this informational session.